Hey friends, good afternoon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on replay today. If you have any questions or comments or would just like to say hi, please feel free to do so. I do go back and check comments and I will be happy to reply to you when I see them. So thanks so much for joining me today. I am Jenny with Roots and Wings Furniture, where I'm helping you transform your house into a home one project at a time. Today we are going to do a fun project using some old paintbrushes. So if you've got old paintbrushes hanging around and you need a use for them, I've got a solution for you today. So please say hi as you come on. I would love to say hi to you this afternoon and know who's hanging out with me. So hey Marnie, how are you today? I need to turn on a light. I thought we would be okay, but I think we need a little bit more light. So hang tight real quick while I plug in the light and then I'll show you what we're gonna make. How are you today? There we go. That should be a little bit better, I think, especially when we get going. Hi Lisa, how are you? How is Michigan? Hey Donna. I'm doing a video, just a minute. Nope, not yet. We are supposed to get snowpocalypse tomorrow, so I'm preparing for the snow, trying to get my creative juices flowing so we can hang out and play in the snow tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes, huh? Hi Debbie, hi Kim, how are you? Yes, cold is right. So here's what we're gonna make. Let me show you. I've already made one. I made one a while ago. It is a paintbrush wreath. This is what it looks like. So I've taken old paintbrushes that I dipped in different colors of paint, and I attached the slate to the middle, and I just think it is a super fun, unique gift, something you could sell, something that you could hang on your wall if it's meaningful to you. So that's what we're gonna make today. Hey April, hey Patricia. Let me tell you what I did. The first time I made this, I actually attached my paintbrushes to a paint lid. I was just using what I had laying around. So I used a lid. It did not go so well. So I've come up with a different solution I'm going to teach you today that's going to make this a little more durable. I've had a few paintbrushes fall off. So we're going to do something today that is going to last longer. And in case you've got a little shop and you'd want to sell something like this, we're gonna do it. The center is a piece of slate. It is off of a friend's farmhouse roof. She was pulling this down, and but you could do this with just about anything. So we'll talk about solutions if you don't have something exactly like this. But you ready to get started? Okay, first things first. Instead of using a paint can lid, just know that's an option if you don't have any other choice. But to make this a little more sturdy, I went to the craft store and I just bought a piece of wood that is in a circle. It cost, I think, $3, not expensive. You could also cut yourself a piece of wood if you've got a scrap. We're not gonna see too much of this, but we will see a little bit of the edges. So we're gonna go ahead and paint it just a dark color, something that won't be super obvious or show up. I just grabbed a can and I had dark chocolate. So this is going to be a really dark brown. Again, we're not going to see this too much, but we just want it to blend into our background a little bit. So let's go ahead and paint this up first. I love using these chip brushes on projects, especially when I don't want to wash a brush. So what I will do, what I've been doing, if I use a chip brush, I will leave it with the paint on it and just toss it aside and let it dry. So I've got a whole collection here of painted up little chip brushes. I don't feel bad about it because these are about 50 cents a piece, and I knew I could do something with them. But if you've got some old paint brushes, sometimes things happen. The best intentions of cleaning brushes sometimes doesn't work, and we get dried paint stuck on our brushes, right? Can I get a yes and an amen? I've got a couple good brushes in this box too, and you know, things happen. Okay, so I've just got my piece of wood. Again, this was the craft store, like $3, not expensive. Pulled out another chip brush, and I'm just gonna give this a quick coat of paint. This is the dark chocolate. It is very, very dark brown, and it's just gonna blend into the background. You could use charcoal gray, you could use black, you could use blue. If you want it to show up more, you could use a white or brighter color. This is gonna be just quick, and easy. Or if you like the wood too, you could leave it. See, this video is the perfect mix of our DIY Tuesday and our crafting Tuesday, like a craft DIY party, don't you think? I've got you covered. On Thursday, we're gonna try and take a field trip together. We're gonna see if it works. We're going shopping at a new place. I'm gonna try and take you live and go field tripping. We shall see. Okay, so I've got my piece painted up. I am going to set this aside and just let it dry. It doesn't have to be perfectly dry for this project, but we're gonna let it dry a second while we drill some holes in the bottom of our paintbrushes. Yeah, Donna, this is just a great idea for, like I said, paintbrushes laying around. This one, the first time I made it, I was intending to give this as a gift, and then I liked it too much, so I kept it. But I did colors that I knew that I wanted. So I did blues and greens and grays because I knew I wanted those colors. So you could definitely do this specifically for this project and dip your brushes in certain colors that you like. What I have today that we're going to use is truly a random collection of just old painted up brushes. I think either way looks really cool. You can get kind of the more rustic, original look going on. I've got a couple sparkly brushes. I've got a couple nice brushes that got dried out. We're gonna put them on there too. Or you can make it look like you intended to do certain colors. So either way works. Rebecca, that's an adorable idea. Rebecca says this would be great to save paint colors from homes or rooms with the date written on the handle. You're a genius. That's smart. All right. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to move the camera a little bit. What we need to do is drill some pilot holes in the handles of our brushes. If we just take our screw and go straight through, it's going to more than likely crack the wood. So we're going to drill little pilot holes into the handles of our brushes, so when we drill it into our wooden circle, it'll be a nice secure hold, okay? That was my mistake on the paint can. It just wasn't a good enough hold. I know, Donna, for real, the purdy brush. Yes, you could definitely make it a clock too. I thought it kind of looks like a clock. You could put gears on it for sure. All right, I've got my drill and I've got just a little tiny drill bit. So nothing, we're just gonna go straight through. I'm just gonna make a little hole here in the very end of my paintbrush. See, just like that. And we are gonna keep on keeping on. When I was at the Home Talk meeting, one of the creators said something about a pilot hole, teaching people how to do pilot holes. And she said, some people don't even know how to do a pilot hole. And the Home Talk, the people running the meeting from Home Talk, they were like, can you tell us what a pilot hole is? It was really funny. Do you guys know what a pilot hole is? This is what a pilot hole is. We're drilling a hole before we put a screw in it to prevent cracking the wood. So if you didn't know that, you learned something new today. It was a really funny conversation. Hi, April. I am being somewhat intentional on the placement of the holes, but not super. We're just getting them right there in the end of the brush. These brushes are a few different sizes I've got stuck in here. Now that's another thing. Another thing you could do. The chip brushes come in all different sizes. There's skinny ones, there's fat ones. It's not a chip brush. All different sizes. So you can alternate. You could do a ton of little tiny ones. world is your oyster with this one. This one with some sparkles on the end, and I thought that would be super cute if you wanted to dress it up even over the paint. You could dip the edges in some glitter if you needed a little bit more bling bling. Okay, my Purdy brushes already have the holes. There's 2 that we are upcycling. There we go. And that should be good. So let's see how many I have here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There are about 16 brushes I have here. And I did lay it out, and we should get a nice full wreath. So about 16 brushes is what you will need. I've got my round that we painted. And again, it's not perfectly dry, but it is dry enough. So we are gonna go with it. And then I'm gonna start laying out my paintbrushes before I screw them in to see how we want this to go. So I usually start with the big ones. We're gonna leave a little space in the middle. Don't worry, it'll all be covered up. Now, I'm a little bit freaky about symmetry, so I always start lining it up straight across from each other and then filling in the spaces as I go. It's not going to be perfect. You can be sure you alternate color, size. Just do whatever you want to do with this. Little teeny tiny ones. See, there are little tiny ones. You could fill up a whole wreath with these little teeny tiny ones for sure. Hi, Catherine. How is Baltimore today? April, the base is just a circle piece of wood from the craft store. I think it was about $3. You could also cut yourself a circle. I said at the beginning, on this other wreath I already made, I used a paint can lid. It is not super sturdy, but that is an option. Just anything that's a circle that you can screw into is gonna be your best bet. So I'm pretty happy with how that looks. So we just lay it all out first, and then we're gonna get to screwing right through our little holes that we made. I am gonna use these black drywall screws, and they should go into the wood really nice and easy. Also going to pause for 1 second and take a picture. I think we're going to write a blog post on this. And I just get going and I forget to stop. Okay, I have my hot glue gun ready in case we need hot glue, but let's try just screwing it straight into the base and see what happens. Oh, of course we will mess up our whole layout. Yep, and that is nice and solid, so that is not going anywhere, especially for a wreath. I mean, this is just hanging on the wall. So that is good. We don't need glue. If you use something besides wood, you definitely could add some glue there. You could even use wood glue. It would just take a little bit longer to dry. Let's get our big purdies in here. At least this helps you feel a little bit less guilty about ruining some brushes, you know? Now, I guess if you wanted to make a clock, you could also scoot everything out so you had more of a base in the middle. That might be a good option for the clock. Let's see, what's their layout here? Oh, Catherine, I know. Are you guys supposed to get the snow that we are? It's supposed to snow tonight. 3 to 6 inches, 4 to 8, something crazy. Which basically means that school is canceled tomorrow. I think my kids have had off more days than they've been to school since Christmas. Whoops, hello. There we go. Now, I am leaving a little gap in the middle because we are going to cover that up. Paula, I'm so glad you caught me live too. I'm so glad that people like to come and hang out. Okay, I'm just trying to keep going with the brushes that are across from each other to make sure this stays kind of straight. Certainly not going to be perfect, but nothing is. You love Try It Tuesday, April. That's awesome. I am so glad you love it. I like it more when it goes right. We had a couple of doozy projects there in a row, I felt like. And I was like, listen, friends, Try It Tuesday. Yes. Not yet. It's not 2:30. When you are 4 years old, it is really hard to stay in your room until 2:30. Did you know that? My 4-year-old has the hardest time for quiet time. All right, we somehow lost a brush there, but I am pretty happy with how that looks. Do you see that? Isn't that fun? I love how this one is really random. I mean, these brushes look old and used and well appreciated. Here, I gotta fix this. This one's not okay here. We're going to switch this one out, actually. I like this one here better. All right. There we go. So, there we go. Here it is. Now, I don't like the middle being just plain like that. It looks kind of crazy. The screws are not even lined up in a circle. So we need to cover up the middle. Here's the solution that I came up with for the middle. Oh, look at that, guys. You like it. I love all the hearts and thumbs up. Thank you so much. And I always forget, I'm supposed to ask people to share this video. If you love this video, would you please share it to your page or to your own Facebook feed, and then you can save it that way and have it for later. I always forget to ask you guys to share. Okay, here's the solution I came up with for the middle to cover all of the whatever there, the mechanics of it, you know. Now, I know that this is backwards. I'm telling you, friends, when you don't have an iPhone, you can't make the font look the right way. So, what this says, aspire to live quietly and work with your hands. That is from 1 Thessalonians 4:11, and I thought that it went so well with the wreath, and it just is a good reminder as you look at that, right? Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Tina, for sharing. So what I've got here, this is a piece of slate. Now, some of the old farmhouses around here had old slate roofs. So as people are tearing down farmhouses, you can often get some slate. It's really super thin. It looks like that. I cut this with my jigsaw into a circle and then took it to a print shop, and they were able to actually print directly on the slate. Now, before you say, yeah, okay, that's great, but I can't do that, that's okay. Slate, you can order it on Etsy. It is available on Etsy. It was super easy to cut in a circle. It was not hard at all. And then you can also write on slate with a chalk marker or a piece of chalk, so you could get the same kind of effect super easily if you don't know a print shop that will print for you, or if you don't have a friend with an old farmhouse. So, no more saying you can't do it, right? We covered all the bases. So what I'm going to do here, and this was an experiment again on the last one, super glue, hot glue, will hold the slate just fine onto the brushes. So as long as we get some good bits of glue, and actually, that's not true. What I did here, let's look. I'm glad I made this before. I actually glued it and then put a few screws through the slate, just like that. I thought it added kind of a little bit rusticiness and held it in. So we'll do that again. Yes, you could totally stencil it, Catherine. That's a great idea. You could do all kinds of different things to this. If you can't find slate, you could also just get a smaller piece of wood and fit it right on top of this too. I just wanted it to cover up that mess, and I like the Bible verse on there, so that's where that came from. Okay, got my hot glue. I'm going to put a bunch on the back here. And we'll put a couple of screws through there too. Stand up for this. Make sure it's in the middle. There we go. All right, there we go. Now, to screw through the slate, I am going to go ahead and do my pilot holes again. I do not want to crack this. I honestly can't remember what I did last time. Let's do one here at the bottom. There we go. Let's do one here. And one right here. I love these black screws. They are just drywall screws. That's all I'm using here. Super cheap. You can get them in a whole big pack. But I love that they're black because I can use them for a lot of things, and black usually goes just like this. Oops, what are we stuck in here? Something. We're stuck on this screw beneath it. Go sideways. Okie dokie. There we go. What do you think about that? Oh, Bethany, great idea. Great sample board. Yes, if you want to show different colors, different mixtures, I mean, this is just kind of a fun thing that could work for so many different things. To hang up the back here, so the back again, we've got our wood piece in the back, and all I'm going to do to hang it is attach one of these little D-rings. Super easy to the back. It's not heavy. It's probably half a pound or so. So you do need a little something just to hang it. I love these things. I use these D-rings all the time. Let me just make sure the writing is in the middle. There we go. Now it's ready to hang. Just like that. There we go. Grace, it says, aspire to live quietly and work with your hands. 1 Thessalonians 4:11. I love that verse. I just think that it means a lot to me, so I wanted that on there. I thought it went well with the paintbrush theme, the do-it-yourself theme, so that's what we've got there. So yeah, so much potential. Again, if you wanted to dress this up a little bit more, you could add glitter to the brushes. You could even paint the wood part of the brush. I mean, you could really do this so many different ways. But this is how I did it today, and I hope it gives you a good idea. Yes, Donna, you could definitely use Coke tabs. I've done that too. You just drill the hole through one of the little holes in the tab, and then you have your tab to hang on the wall. Great tip. So there we go, friends. That's what we got for DIY. Try it DIY Tuesday. I hope you like that. I hope that inspires you to do something fun today. I've got a whole bunch of projects I'm going to try and finish up before our snowpocalypse comes tonight. And then we're going to try, if weather permits, to go live on a field trip on Thursday. I'm going to try and walk you around a store and teach you things that you might want to look at when you are trying to buy furniture to flip or for your own house. So we're going to try that for Thursday, as long as weather is okay and we can get out of the house. So that's what I have. Happy Tuesday. Have an awesome afternoon. Whatever you are up to, I always like to see pictures. Share anything you are up to and in making and creating. And we'll see y'all later. So, bye guys.